My fiancé wanted his father to physically check my body 24 hours before our $90,000 wedding, but the slap I gave him instead permanently canceled his family's precious little lineage. We had been together for over 3 years, and our relationship felt completely normal, stable, and deeply loving. We were your typical modern couple, talking about career goals, picking out color schemes for the reception, and finalizing our guest list. But behind the scenes, as the wedding date crawled closer, a dark, heavy undercurrent from his family's extreme, deeply traditional cultural expectations began to bleed into our modern life. It started entirely behind closed doors, away from our friends and my family. He sat me down on the couch one evening, surrounded by half-wrapped wedding favors, and calmly explained that, according to his family's strict, unyielding code of honor, his father needed to personally, physically verify my physical purity before the marriage could be legally or spiritually recognized by his household. I laughed out loud, genuinely waiting for the punchline, assuming it was some sick, twisted joke meant to test my reaction. But when I looked at the completely flat, unblinking expression on his face, the laughter died in my throat. A wave of pure, paralyzing terror hit my chest. He wasn't joking. He was entirely serious, acting as if handing over my body to his father was a perfectly reasonable, routine checkbox on our wedding itinerary. He told me that his mother had gone through it, his sisters had gone through it, and if I wanted to wear his family ring, I would submit to the check tomorrow night without making a scene. I spent the entire night paralyzed by anxiety, unable to close my eyes as the clock ticked down toward the scheduled violation. The thoughts running through my head were completely overwhelming. I was questioning everything about the last 3 years, wondering how a man who claimed to protect me could calmly ask me to surrender my dignity to his parents. First thing this morning, I forced myself to get out of bed, cornered him in the kitchen, and tried to address the situation with absolute calmness and rationality. I looked him dead in the eye and told him firmly and clearly that his father was never going to touch me, look at me, or check my body, and that he needed to respect my basic human boundaries as his future wife. The moment the words left my mouth, his demeanor completely shifted, his face contorted with automated fury. Instead of defending me, he instantly dug his heels in, becoming wildly aggressive and screaming that my refusal was definitive proof that I was a liar. He accused me of fabricating my entire past, mocking his family, and ruining his name before the ceremony even started. The back and forth escalated at a terrifying, breathless pace. He began pacing around the kitchen island, slamming his coffee mug onto the counter so hard the porcelain cracked. He kept repeating that I was destroying his family's reputation, that the elders had already arranged the scheduling, and my sudden defiance was a slap in the face to his heritage. He looked right at me, laughed in my face, and said, "Look at you crying. If you loved me, you would just do this one simple thing, but you're just a lying, fake girl who doesn't care about our future." My plea for basic human empathy was met with immediate, explosive physical violence. Before the sentence could even clear my lips, he stepped forward and slapped me violently across the face, his hand striking my cheek so hard my ears started ringing. He stood over me, breathing heavily, and coldly muttered that he didn't have to prove a damn thing to a girl like me. I stood there in the absolute silence of the kitchen, the sting on my face clearing away every single ounce of confusion, doubt, or grief I had left inside my soul. In a fraction of a second, the illusion of the man I loved completely evaporated. The psychological warfare that followed the strike was a masterclass in manipulation. As I backed away toward the bedroom, clutching my burning face, he didn't follow me to apologize. Instead, he leaned against the kitchen counter, picked up his phone, and coldly informed me that if I walked out that door, he would tell the entire town, our families, and all of our friends that the wedding was off because I was an unfaithful, deceitful liar who couldn't face his family's traditions. He explicitly threatened to ruin my reputation before sundown, weaponizing his family's social standing to ensure I would be cast out as the villain. I locked the bedroom door behind me, my knees shaking so violently I could barely stand. I could hear him pacing up and down the hallway, aggressively throwing wedding planning binders against the walls, his voice raised in a continuous, manic rant about how I was disrespecting generations of his lineage over a simple, harmless medical check. Like and comment for part 2.